Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be checking out the North Island in New Zealand and just a few places worth considering for your next adventure. Let's explore. Let's just cover a few of the quick little basics about New Zealand. It is split into two islands, the North and South Island. And today we're looking at the North Island, known as a more subtropical island, where New Zealand is located. The further south you go, the colder it gets. New Zealand's North Island is known for its Maori culture and heritage, where you can learn so much. You've got amazing geothermal areas like Rotorua. Then of course, like both islands of New Zealand, you have amazing beaches and coastlines to explore the inland ever-changing terrain. And today we're just going to look at a few areas really briefly that I've visited personally. Tells us are worth keeping on your next itinerary. Now, New Zealand is really easy to drive, especially for us Aussies. Road rules are pretty much the same. Drive on the same side of the road and all of that. They don't have major highways, so everything can take a little bit longer than you anticipate to get from place to place, but on the whole it is an amazing experience and driving is not a problem. They use New Zealand dollars. Just recently I've discovered a new website called Budget Your Trip, and not only does it break down solos and couples, you can do the daily, monthly, weekly expenses for a particular destination, but then scroll further down and it'll break it down into your own currency, so you can actually get a really good forecast for how much you're going to need to visit a destination. I'll put the link in the description below. Then I'd love to hear, if you have a go of it, what you think of it, how you find it, whether you might have something similar that you think works better. Auckland's known as New Zealand's biggest city, and there is plenty to do there. One of the highlights is the Sky Tower, where you can go up to the top of the Sky Tower and enjoy the observation decks, which give you great sweeping views over the city. For those thrill seekers, there is the sky jump, where you can actually bungee off the side of the Sky Tower, or there is a walk where you walk around the edge of the one of the observation areas. We did a great escape room for something a little bit different in Auckland, and it was just so much fun. Our kids are right into all of that sort of thing and they had a ball. The Auckland War Memorial Museum rates really, really highly as a place to see. Another thing that we did that was a little bit unexpected was we caught a ferry across to Devonport and hired some bikes and just did a bit of a bike ride around there. We also went to the Maritime Museum over that side of the bay, and that was a really lovely experience. You get to see Auckland from afar, and there is just so much to see. Another thing worth considering doing in Auckland is Mount Rotangaro. It is the youngest volcano. You take a ferry or private charter to get there. There's an hour-long walk that will get you up to the summit, where you will get to see awesome views. As far as nature goes in Auckland, there's so much to see. There's lots of beaches, volcanoes close by that you can walk or explore. Rotorua was the most surprising place we visited while we were doing our road trip. Now for me, I'm probably a little bit fortunate in that I have never had a very strong sense of taste or smell. So for me, the sulphur smell that lots of people complain about in Rotorua is not strong. The reason for all of the sulphur smell is quite fascinating. It's one of the higher geothermal places that you can visit. In the city, you can walk around the city of Rotorua. In one particular part, there are actually little steam jets coming out around the road. There's cracks in the side of the road where there's steam coming through. It's just a fascinating place. But that is not all. There are amazing lakes. The Maori culture is really, really present in that area, and there are lots of opportunities for you to visit Maori cultures, have a hangi dinner, and just be educated about cultural relevant stuff for Maori life. Another thing that I want to mention is the Californian redwood forest. When we were there, we just wandered around the base. We hugged trees. It was amazing to stand under these majestic trees, and you can still do that. But in my research for this video, I have discovered that there is now a whole treetop walk and there's a night experience that you can do on that looks absolutely fabulous. You think, oh, it's a forest of trees, but it is absolutely fascinating and really worth your time. Another thing that we did was a duck tour, and it is a bus thing that goes on the road, but it's also amphibious, so it does go onto one of the lakes and takes you around one of the lakes at Rotorua. Again, pinpoints some significant Maori sites outside of Rotorua, gives you a bit of a show around of Rotorua, significant buildings, all of that sort of thing. It was a bit of fun. We had a ball, the kids had a ball. Going out onto the lake was really cool. And the other thing that is really cool is a place called Skyline. Now, up at the top of Skyline, you go up a gondola. On the top of Skyline, you get amazing views over Rotorua. There's also a luge, couple of luge tracks, a big swing that you can drop down on. There's also a cellar door for one of the local wineries, which was a really lovely experience for Phil and I. The kids were a bit bored with that one because they were a bit young. Just a whole little place to wander around. We spent probably a good 4 hours up there. There's a gardens in Rotorua. There is so much to do in Rotorua. Definitely check it out. If you liked what you saw today and getting value, why not hit that like button so YouTube knows that we've got information worth sharing with other people. I'm not going to say too much about Wellington, except that it is the capital city of New Zealand and very much worth a visit. Very quickly, known as the windiest city, it is right on the southern end of the North Island, and from Wellington you can connect via ferries that leave from 2 locations within Wellington to the South Island in Pics. A more concise look at Wellington, check out this video above where I gave you some things to do in Wellington and places to explore from our 2 visits there. As I've said before, especially in that Wellington video, we are massive Lord of the Rings fans. So we had to go in search of some of those more rugged North Island filming locations, and we are so glad we did. We wanted to go to Mount Doom, well, the mount they used for Mount Doom. We headed off to Tongariro National Park and we spent the night in a ski lodge there, or Mount Rafu in our background. This is a beautiful area. With the kids, we walked up into the ski village, into part of the bottom part of the ski slopes. We were there too late in the day to go up the lifts to go and wander up around the mountain top a bit more. Then Phil and I went and we explored some waterfalls, and in the morning I did an amazing walk. So not just Mount Doom or Mount Rafu, but there is so much to see in the Mount Tongariro National Park. I can't suggest that bit of New Zealand strongly enough. It was absolutely beautiful and such a surprise. Now, I wouldn't be a real Lord of the Rings fan if I didn't mention this next place, and you're probably thinking, Karen, why wasn't it number 1? Because I'm not doing these in any particular order. I've got to mention Hobbiton at Mamata. Hobbiton is on a working sheep station. It's way out in the middle of nowhere. You actually can only get there by the buses from the meeting point at the little shop, and you have to book in and buy your ticket and go on a set tour. It is the Hobbiton film set from the making of The Lord of the Rings, and then they used it in the Hobbit movies as well. You wander around this couple of hectares of the Shire. You get to see Bag End, which is where Bilbo Baggins lives. You get to wander through the village and see Sam's Hobbit Hole and just a whole lot of other Hobbit holes. It's like they finished filming yesterday. Everything is pristine. Everything is in its place. You get to hear anecdotes about how much effort they went into making and creating this place. There are a couple of Hobbit holes that you can actually stand in the doorway of. It is just an amazing place. And then you finish your tour off with a drink at the Green Dragon. I know I've only scraped the surface, but I hope I've got you dreaming just a little bit about the amazing places that you can see on the North Island. We visited the places we visited on a very comfortable 10-day road trip. We had the best time with our kids exploring this new country. I've got links in the description below of the places that I've mentioned, of websites that can help you explore further. Let me know in the comments below where you've been on the North Island of New Zealand that I didn't mention. Let us know what there is to see and do in that particular area. I hope that you found today valuable. If you did, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring that little bell so you'll be notified of our upcoming videos. As always, thanks for joining us. Travel brilliantly. Bye. Want to see more? Check out the New Zealand playlist above or find us on social.